I thought I could count on them. I was wrong. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe. The hospital room was quiet, except for the soft beep of monitors and the muffled chatter in the hallway. I gripped the edge of the bed tightly, my palms slick with sweat, feeling a mix of fear, anticipation, and something heavier, abandonment. Naomi, we can't cancel Adele. You know how long your sister's been waiting? My mother said over the phone, her voice calm but dismissive, the same tone she'd always used when I asked for help. I swallowed hard, trying to steady my voice. Mom, I need surgery, just a few hours. I need you to watch the twins. There was a pause. Then my father's voice, low and impatient, can't you find someone else? We've had these tickets for months. 8 months. That's how old Sophia and Grace were, my twin daughters, and suddenly the people who were supposed to be my safety net felt like a void beneath my feet. I'm Naomi Clark, 34, living in Portland, Oregon. I've spent years keeping my parents afloat financially, helping with bills, groceries, even paying off my sister's car. Every month, $500, no questions asked. I thought support meant love, meant loyalty, meant someone would be there when I needed them. But lying in that hospital bed with my surgeon warning that the tumor needed removal immediately, it hit me. Maybe I had been wrong. The concert is tomorrow, Naomi. You can reschedule the surgery, right? My mother continued, voice honeyed with that false sweetness. I shook my head, tears blurring my vision. Mom, this isn't something I can reschedule. It's cancer. They need to operate now. Oh, Naomi, always so dramatic, she snapped. My father muttered something from the background about me always causing problems at the worst possible time. Counting ceiling tiles, I tried to steady myself. The feeling of being unseen, unheard, unloved, it was familiar, too familiar. I remembered all the years I'd been the responsible one. While Kelly spent her teens focusing on friends, I worked part-time jobs, saved for college, handled emergencies, and kept the family afloat. When my parents faced foreclosure, I sold my own security to keep them in their home. When Kelly needed a car, I quietly covered it. Every birthday, holiday, emergency, they called me, not to check on me, but to see what I could provide. Even now with the twins, my parents' first question wasn't about my health or well-being. It was, can you still help us financially? I spent an hour scrambling to arrange a professional babysitter for Sophia and Grace. Expensive, more than I could afford, but it didn't matter. My baby's safety came first. When the surgeon came to wheel me into the OR, I nodded, a strange mix of relief and emptiness settling over me. Everything's arranged, I said. The anesthesia swept me away, and the world went quiet. I woke groggy, sore, and dizzy, but alive. The tumor was gone, benign. Relief should have been enough, but it wasn't. The emptiness in my chest, the hollow ache of years spent giving and being ignored, was still raw. Hours later, my phone buzzed. Messages from my sister, Kelly, excited and oblivious. Photos and videos from the Adele concert, updates about seats, outfits. In one video, my mother's voice rang in the background. Naomi will be fine, she always is. No message asking if I'd survived surgery, no concern, just reassurance that I'd be fine because I had always been reliable. It hit me. The people who were supposed to love me unconditionally didn't. I called the babysitter to pick up the twins. Mrs. Patterson, my elderly neighbor, had been checking in throughout the day. She'd shown more concern for my babies and my well-being in a few hours than my parents had in decades. Driving home with Sophia and Grace babbling in their car seats, something shifted. The medication made the world feel surreal, yet my thoughts were crystal clear. I was done. Done being the family bank account, done being the fallback, done pretending their love was unconditional. Back home, I canceled the automatic $500 monthly transfer, deleted my parents from grocery accounts, canceled emergency credit cards, and blocked their numbers. Terrifying, yes. Liberating, absolutely. As the twins napped, Grace reached up and touched my face with her tiny hand, and Sophia gave me that gummy, heart-melting smile I'd known since birth. My priorities were crystal clear. Love was reciprocal. Love showed up when it mattered. 3 days of blissful silence followed. No calls, no guilt trips, no request. Just healing, just my babies, just peace. But peace doesn't last forever. One Thursday evening, as I was giving the twins a bath, the pounding came, urgent, desperate. I wrapped them in towels and peered through the peephole. Kelly, alone, tear-streaked, panicked. "Naomi, please, we need to talk. Something terrible has happened." My heart raced. For a moment, the old instinct, help, rescue, fix, flared, but I stopped myself. I was no longer the automatic solution to their crises. I cracked the door open, keeping the chain on. "What do you want, Kelly?" "Please, let me in. Mom and Dad, they're losing the house. Dad lost his job." I studied her face, saw the worry, but also the old patterns, the familiar look of a sister about to ask for something. "That's unfortunate," I said quietly. "Not my problem." She gasped. "Naomi, we all need you. Mom and Dad don't know what to do without your help." I took a deep breath. They should have thought of that before treating me like a bank account instead of a daughter. Her expression shifted, searching for justification. But no explanation could rewrite years of being used. "You're being dramatic. You always overreact," she said, almost pleading. "No, Kelly, this isn't drama. It's clarity. I finally see who you all are. I've been playing a rigged game and I'm done losing." She tried again. "We're your family. We love you." I felt the casual cruelty in her words, the transactional nature of the love she described. Love shouldn't be conditional on my availability or my wallet. I closed the door, stepped back, and turned the deadbolt. Grace was crying, Sophia fussing, but this time I was centered. I comforted them, rocked them in my arms, and felt something I hadn't in years. Relief. Sometimes the hardest love is the love you show yourself. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe. The apartment fell silent again, broken only by the twins' soft breathing. I sat on the couch, staring at the door I had just closed. For the first time in decades, I wasn't running, fixing, or sacrificing. I was choosing me. 3 days passed. Peace settled in the corners of my life like sunlight after a storm. No calls, no guilt-laden emails, no frantic texts from my parents or Kelly. Just quiet, just healing, just my babies. Then came the knock at the door. Slow, deliberate, measured. Not Kelly, not desperate, different. Heavy footsteps on the stairs. I dried my hands from the bath, careful not to disturb Sophia and Grace, and peered through the peephole. My father stood there, jacket pressed neatly, hat in hand, like a man entering a courtroom. Behind him, my mother's shoulders were hunched, shrunken, smaller somehow, shadows under her eyes. They looked like strangers, cautious, uncertain. "Naomi," my father started, voice low, controlled. We need to talk." I studied them silently. I remembered lying in that hospital bed, terrified and alone. I remembered their concert, their indifference, my anger and pain coursing through me like electricity. Not today. I stepped back from the door, let them knock, let them speak, let them try, but I would remain unshaken. My father's voice hardened. "This is ridiculous. You can't just cut us off like this. We raised you better than this." I exhaled slowly, letting the years of frustration escape in one quiet sigh. "You didn't raise me to value myself. You raised me to be convenient, available, a resource. And that ends now. They were silent, and I watched them through the peephole as the words sank in. My mother whispered something to him, and he shook his head, shifting uneasily. The twins were splashing in the bath, blissfully unaware of the storm at the door. Grace squealed with delight, Sophia giggled, and I realized something important. These little humans didn't care about my parents' drama. They only needed love that was present, consistent, and real. And I would give them that. Hours passed. Eventually, the footsteps retreated. I waited. The knocking stopped. I heard the car engine start, and then silence. I checked the door cautiously. There, on the doormat, was a small envelope. Neat, carefully addressed in my father's handwriting. I stared at it for a long moment. Curiosity flared. Did I want to read it? No. It was another guilt trip, another attempt to manipulate, another reminder of a family that had never prioritized me. I left it there. 3 days went by. Every time I walked past it, a little voice inside me whispered, "Strength, Naomi. Don't break now." Finally, Friday morning. Twins secured in the car seats, ready for daycare drop-off. I picked up the envelope. Not because I wanted answers, but to remove its presence from my home. I threw it straight into the dumpster. At work, Brittany noticed a change. "Naomi, you look different. Relaxed. What's your secret?" I smiled, just sleeping better. The truth, for the first time in years, I wasn't carrying the weight of 3 households on my shoulders. I wasn't constantly scrambling to cover someone else's mistakes. I was free to be a mother, a woman, and someone who mattered first to herself. Then came a call from an unknown number, local area code. Instinctively, I hesitated. Could it be my parents? "Miss Clark? This is Janet from Meridian Bank. We need to verify unusual activity on the account ending in 4782. You're listed as an authorized user and emergency contact." My stomach tightened, but I didn't panic. "I'm no longer associated with that account. Remove all my information immediately. Do not contact me about it again." "Understood, Miss Clark. There has been returned payments, significant overdrives, just letting you know." I cut her off. "I don't need to know. Remove me." I hung up and leaned back. Months ago, hearing about an overdrawn account would have sent me spiraling. Now, mild curiosity, nothing more. I felt untouchable, secure in the boundaries I had set. Then a text. Another unknown number. Kelly. "Naomi, Mom and Dad's electricity got shut off. They're staying with me but can't stay long. Can we talk?" I deleted it, without hesitation. And for the first time, I truly understood what freedom felt like. I opened my banking app, checking my balance. Substantial. Money I had earned, earmarked for my daughter's future. Emergency funds for Sophia and Grace. My sacrifices, my foresight, my hard work, not squandered on people who only valued me for what I could give. That evening, as I bathed the twins, splashing water everywhere, they giggled and reached for me. Grace's tiny hand found my cheek. Sophia's gummy smile radiated pure joy. In that moment, I knew I had finally broken the cycle. I would never model conditional love. I would never teach my daughters that their worth was measured by their ability to serve others. And though sadness lingered for the family I thought I had, it was paired with something stronger: relief, clarity, empowerment. I could now live fully in the life I had built, secure in the knowledge that protecting my children and myself was not selfish, it was necessary. Weeks passed. I built routines for the twins, invested in proper childcare, and watched them thrive. I learned to love without expectation of repayment. Sometimes, late at night, I would feel a pang of guilt. What if they were really struggling? What if I had been too harsh? But I reminded myself, this wasn't cruelty. It was survival. Love, real love, doesn't exploit. Love doesn't abandon you in your hour of need while celebrating someone else's convenience. Love is consistent. Love shows up. And for the first time, my daughters would see it. They would learn that boundaries are strength, that self-respect is essential, that love is reciprocal, and it starts with yourself. And as I watched Sophia and Grace drift into sleep, I realized I had given myself and them the most profound gift possible: freedom, security, and the knowledge that their mother would always, unequivocally be there. Some lessons are painful. Some lessons take years to learn. But the greatest act of love sometimes is walking away. Walking away from those who only love what you can give and stepping fully into the life and love you deserve. And in that quiet apartment, with the soft breathing of my twins beside me, I finally felt what it meant to be free.